For years, West Virginia Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse has been highlighting the effects lawsuit abuse in our state costs in good-paying jobs. Recently, an extremely large verdict is further proof that our broken legal system is costing us jobs. The following are video clips from an interview of Chesapeake Energy CEO Aubrey McClendon and Bray Carey of West Virginia Media on their Decision Makers television program.
What of course happened is there was a $405 million judgment that I think not only shocked us, but I think shocked most every businessman or woman in West Virginia, and I think had to shock political leaders as well, and certainly I think has to put everybody outside of the state on notice who is thinking about putting their capital to risk in the state.
The $405 million verdict made national business news headlines.
But I think it sends a very chilling message to anybody conducting business or contemplating conducting business in West Virginia, which is your assets are fair game for somebody to come and take them for a routine contractual dispute. And I think that is really the death penalty for businesses thinking about increasing the capital that they're willing to put at risk in the state of West Virginia.
Lawsuit abuse has cost West Virginia thousands of jobs in recent years and clearly may cost us many more.
Prior to the verdict, your company had talked about putting its eastern headquarters, as you all have now, with the acquisition of NiSource, have really started to expand in the eastern part of the United States, which is new territory for you. So you're going to put a headquarters somewhere in the east. You've put that on hold. Is that because of the verdict, or are there other signals about the business climate of West Virginia?
Absolutely. It's directly related to this outcome.
West Virginia was recently rated the #1 judicial hellhole in the nation.
West Virginia obviously has a reputation that's been negative in terms of business environment and business climate, even from a legal situation. I wonder, as you came into West Virginia, you maybe expected something, but is this beyond what your wildest expectations as far as taking something that's maybe a more simple contract law and turning it into
It's one thing to read that West Virginia is the #1 judicial hellhole in America, and it's something else to be on the receiving end of what it means to be stuck in that kind of a location. And so you can't imagine that it could ever happen to you, particularly when you think that you are a force for good in the state. And ever since we arrived there, all we've tried to do is hire people, pay people well, donate money, and no good deed goes unpunished, I suppose, and this is what we get back.
Very few win with a legal lottery system.
Everybody knows that to help the common man, the guy working hard to support his family and put his kids through school, you don't help him by having a few citizens win a legal lottery every few years and hit a company with a several $100 million judgment, a third of which generally goes to law firms in the first place. I mean, that's not how you create value and how you create wealth.
Some West Virginia judges apply a Robin Hood style of justice.
And right now we're competing in a worldwide economy for jobs that can go, they're knowledge-based jobs that can go anywhere, and any state has to have its political and business leaders on the same page, and I think West Virginia, and Governor Manchin is definitely trying to do that, and the legislative branch may be there, but you've got a third branch of government, the judicial branch, and that's the one that appears to be the most out of control one in West Virginia. It's not the legislature that's coming to take our money. It's really, frankly, a handful of judges that appear to be willing to play a Robin Hood style apply a Robin Hood style of justice against companies that have assets at risk in the state of West Virginia, and that's got to change.
West Virginia needs to pass meaningful legal reform.
The reality is Texas used to be known as a judicial hellhole as well. And what happened there is that people finally said enough is enough, business people did, and passed meaningful tort reform. And today Texas is really held up as an example of a state that is considered to have a fair judicial system that does still look out for the little guy, but at the same time you don't get these arbitrary, capricious judgments that come out of the woodwork occasionally.
For West Virginia to truly be open for business, we need to fix our broken legal system.
that if West Virginia is going to compete for capital and compete for good jobs, this open for business slogan, which is catchy and is immediately intuitively attractive to any businessman that hears it, it's got to be true. And there are aspects of it that are true, but I don't think any businessman or woman wants to listen to all the good things and put their capital at risk and then lose in a lottery system to some judge somewhere.
This has been a member communication for West Virginia Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse.